Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Jaylee's Corner. I am, of course, Jaylee, and this is my review for Being Mary Jane, this season 4, episode 14. I don't know how much I'm liking, Being Mary Jane this season. First things first, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. It does not cost you anything. It just lets you know when I have new content on my channel, new videos up, new reviews up, just new stuff. You can always share my videos. You hit the share button, share it on your social media so other people can see my videos too. You can also like the videos or put a comment below in the comment section. The only rule to the comment section is please be respectful to me and anyone else making comments. Okay, back to Being Mary Jane. Yeah, I just don't know how much I like this season. It's almost like, where is the story going? It like everything is all over the place. I just don't, they're adding all these new people, and there's new people who name I don't even know. It's just different. You have the hairdresser guy who's now, he's a character. You have the girl who I think is in HR who's a character. I don't know what her damn name is. You have the new anchor girl with the blonde hair. You have the other girl with the black hair. It's the two new white. I don't, for me, I just don't know. I don't, it's just too much. I don't know. I just, let me just get into this episode. But yeah, I don't know if I'm liking this season. And it's not that I dislike it. It's just, I don't know. Compared to the other seasons, I don't know if it, is as good as the other seasons, I guess I'm saying. Yeah, it's just different, I guess. We see the beginning of it starting off with Mary Jane, and she's texting someone about getting a code. I realize, okay, it's her texting Justin to get into his apartment. She's there because he needs his passport, and he left his passport at home, so she went to go get it. And, he's like, it's in the bedroom, it's in my drawer, telling her exactly where it is. And, she finds it, and as she's sitting there, she's, flipping through it, looking through where he's been, looking through where the stamps are. And, so she's sitting there for a little second, and he's like, stop snooping, texting her, of course. Letting her know that he needs her to get to the post office or to FedEx or whoever's sending it, because he needs it delivered, sent next day, because he needs it to go do the story that he's doing. Okay, cool. So she's like, okay, I'm not gonna snoop, but she gets up and she walks away, but she comes right back. I can snoop a little bit. So she's like looking through his drawers. She does see like a picture of him and the ex-girlfriend, and she's like, sorry girl, because of course, they broke up and now they are together. She's looking in his drawers, and she sees condoms. She looks under his desk, under his bed, and she sees a survival kit, which is smart. I need to make me a survival kit, because you never know what you're gonna need. So, he's still texting her like, I need the passport, the post office closes, or, no, the post office is around the corner, it's 24 hours or whatnot. She's still stupid. She then goes into his closet. And she's like, sniffing his clothes, because, when your man is gone and you want to just feel his essence, you do sniff the clothes because it has his scent on it. And that just reminds you of how much you care for this person. She's about to leave and she sees a box up top. So she goes and gets the box. She's kind of looking through it. And, he texts her like, send me the tracking number. She's like, oh shit. She has to leave because he's, what are you doing? I need this stuff. So she puts the box back. She closes the closet door and she leaves. But in typical Mary Jane fashion, she comes back and she gets the box. And she takes the box with her. And see, that's the one thing I would never do. If I'm snooping in my man's apartment, I don't want to take anything out his apartment. Because what if I can't get it back in? It was bad enough you couldn't remember the code when you were there the first time. So how do you know you're going to remember it later? And you can't ask him for it later. And then what if his alarm of the code thing can show how many times you've used the code? I think about that kind of stuff, but I think logically. So yeah, when she took the box, I was like, you shouldn't have took the box. Whatever you couldn't get through, at that point in time, you'd be back in that man's house. You know what I'm saying? But she took the box and she left. And she's rushing to leave to get him the passport that he needs. Next, we see the Niecy is back in Atlanta, and she's up bright early, bushy-tailed and ready to take over the world. And her father is also up. He's like, "What you doing up this early?" "Oh, the early bird catches the worm, and I'm just, I'm thinking about, just doing some things." And he's like, this must have something to do with a guy. And she's like, "No, I'm just thinking about, starting a career, doing things for me, or whatever." So he's like, "Okay, cool." Whatever. We then see her going to her old job at the hair salon. And I think it was season, I think maybe it was season 2 when she stopped working there because she felt like she was overwhelmed with working and being a parent and all the other stuff. And she left the job. So she went there to basically, she has this whole new lease on life after going to New York, spending time with Mary Jane. She also met the guy, got her some Tinder dick, and got the kind of inspiration to find what makes her happy in life, find what fulfills her. And as we see, what fulfills her is doing hair. So the salon owner's like, "What you doing here?" Because again, Niecy up and left, from before. So I just want to talk to you real quick. So they do go in and they're trying to have a conversation, and Niecy's basically apologizing for up and quitting, leaving the girl high and dry. And the owner is like, "I took a chance with you, and I let you work here, while you were in school to get your license. I gave you a chance, and you basically fucked up the church's money." And Niecy's like, "Well, I'm so sorry. I didn't appreciate or understand the opportunity that you were giving to me. I'm so sorry, but I'm here to ask for another chance. I've already went ahead and put down, paid for school. I have the receipts." She's trying to show her the receipt. And the salon owner is like, "I can't trust you. I can't take that chance. You can try again, but it's at somebody else's salon." And she basically, lets her know, you can't come back here. Sometimes when you burn bridges, the bridge is burned, and you can't do shit besides get a hammer and a nail and build a whole new bridge somewhere else. We see it. I'm going to cover the whole Niecy thing in one fell swoop. We see her later on, and she's talking to her friend. She's talking to her friend like, "Yeah, I went there and tried to get my job back." She kind of wasn't hearing it. She basically was saying that I was a screw up. Our friend was like, "She said that?" And she was like, "No," but she basically, insinuated it. And, Niecy even goes into, "I don't want to always, have to do hair in my grandparents' basement." Where sometimes, boo-boo, you have to start off one place. Take me, for instance. I don't have a hope. I have a little over 400 subscribers. And my thing is, I want to be on YouTube and, get a whole bunch of views and stuff. I like doing reviews. Like, this is what I like to do. But even I know you have to start somewhere. So you start in your house, on your cell phone, making videos, and people start liking you. For Niecy, it can be the same thing. You can start doing hair in your grandparents' basement because that's your starting point. You just have to have a plan on where to get from there. What's your stepping stone? So, her friend is even saying to her, it's in your head that you're a screw up. No one is saying that except you. You need to get out of your own way. And, that's a thing within yourself. We also see that her dad is, who used to be a drug addict and, that had different issues. He is holding different rallies, having different meetings, regarding Black Lives Matter, having other people come speak to the youth and the people of Atlanta, trying to spread the word on, what to be, who to be, and how to be better as a Black community. And we do see how he kind of takes one of the guys under his wing who doesn't agree with one of the speakers who he had to come. I wasn't going to cover this, but I'm like, let me just throw it on in here. But basically, Patrick does meet with this gentleman, and he kind of lets him know, you can't want to fix things. I'm assuming the speaker was gay. Only because, and if I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comment section, because that part I did kind of skim over a little bit, and I don't have any notes. But they were talking, and I just heard him saying something about, Martin Luther King, might have had someone, within the march and, going for different civil rights who could have been like that. And I heard the boy say, well, he would have kept that low key. So I'm assuming he was talking about gay. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. But again, Patrick was saying to him, you can't want to build people up by excluding excluding certain people. You have to want to be together and everything. So they were just having a conversation. It was just Patrick letting the boy know, we can do this, but you can't want to only do it your way, and you can't want to exclude certain people from doing it. So, in a later scene, Niecy, the boy comes to their house because they're going to a meeting together, Patrick and the guy, and Niecy sees him. So he's like, hey, you're Niecy, you're Patrick's daughter? And she's like, yeah, who are you? And he said his name. He's like, yeah, me and your dad are going to a meeting. She's like, well, what drugs are you on? And he was like, what? And she's like, well, you said y'all was going to a meeting. And he was like, oh, no, not that kind of meeting. Your dad has been going around uplifting, helping, building, these connections with people. It's really, really great. You know what I'm saying? He's doing something with his life is what I got from it. So from Niecy having that conversation, she also talked to her dad about, why didn't you ever tell me you were doing this? And he's like, well, because when you had the whole taser situation, you being tased and the police, you didn't want to deal with it. You wanted to leave it alone. You wanted to be left alone about it. He's like, so I didn't want you to, have to deal with it anymore, so I just kept it from you. I think that conversation with her dad helped her realize, she can't keep holding herself back because of her situation. And so we see in the end of the Niecy part of the story, she goes back to the hair salon with her old boss, and she's like, look, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm a single parent, that, and you said, if I want to do this, I have to make a way. And so I'm here to ask you to please give me another chance and, give me a chair in your salon. I'm so serious this time, I won't, mess up. And she's like, Niecy, I just don't have, I don't have an extra chair. And she's like, well, okay, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks so much. And she's like, wait, okay, I don't have a chair for you, but you can be my shampoo girl and you can sweep the floor. And she's like, that can be the starting point of you building up your hours to get a chair. We can talk about it. So, what I'm saying? For her, it's a starting point. You ain't doing hair in your grandparents' basement, and you ain't doing hair in the salon. But it's a starting point to doing something that you want to do. So kudos to Niecy. The rest is be all about Mary Jane stuff. I just wanted to get that out the way because it would have been in between and whatever. So MJ is at work and she feels like no one is speaking to her. We do see her walking through the newsroom, and Kara's on the phone laughing or something, and she's walking up, and you're like, okay, is she talking to me? And nope, she's talking to someone else, and she high-fiving the other girl who I think is her assistant, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe another anchor who is like brand new. It was a girl that her and Justin couldn't agree upon, and the guy hired or something. It's that person. No, it's not. I don't know who she is, honestly, because they hired a white girl, Danny. I don't know who that white girl that her hair is. I think she's like an assistant or something. Anywho, but yeah, Kira's, high-fiving her and chit-chatting and laughing over her. We see Aaron and Danny chit-chatting, laughing up and talking about, Mary Jane will be like a stepsister. Bitch, what? So she kind of feels left out. So she's talking to the hairdresser, who was her friend, the guy who also knew that her and Justin were dating. And she's talking to him about, should she snoop or should she not snoop? Because she has this box of Justin stuff. And he like, girl, but you take the box from the house? And he was like, no, mama, you need to take that back. Don't snoop. Don't snoop. I agree. If you can't snoop in the house, don't take shit out the house to snoop. It's gonna end up fucking you over, getting you into some kind of just messy shit. And, he's just like, don't snoop. Take the box back, leave it at that. You gotta trust that man, or you can figure out things later. So, we had that whole scene. Now, this is where I guess I can get with the Mary Jane show. It's not boring me or whatever. we see that Danny is having a conversation with this other lady who I don't know who she is, but she's the other white woman, and she has the long dark hair. And again, I think she's Carrie's assistant or something. And they're having a conversation, and dark haired one is saying that was a great idea to tie that workout story to the back pain story. And she was like, that must have been Justin's idea. Oh, that was brilliant. That must be the reason he became the senior producer, because he's brilliant. Danny then says, now Danny is the white girl with the blonde hair who was hired because to me she's like a Tommy Lauren character. She's racist and she's idiotic and she says things without thinking. That's the character that she's playing. That's just my opinion. Sue me, whatever. Anywho, Danny then replies and says, I thought he got the senior producer job because Rhonda wanted more blacks. Now see, I'm awake. The dark-haired girl says, no, he's actually a very smart producer. And then she says, oh, yeah, isn't his mother white? So first you thought he got the job because Rhonda wanted more black people around. Now when the girl says he's really, really smart, you says, yeah, isn't his mom white? So is he only smart because his mom is white? For me, it was totally racist. For me, as a viewer, even hearing the whole conversation, I just, that's just my perspective. Don't shoot the messenger. We all have our own opinions. Mary Jane walks up and she hears the comment and she checks the girl. I mean, like literally checks the girl. And she's saying, are you saying that he's only smart if he has a white mother? That would be racist. And you can tell Mary Jane is pissed off. I would be pissed off too. And she's like, no, I mean because he had blue eyes. No, and that's the one thing that at times upsets me about some white people who say racist shit and they're too ignorant to even realize it's fucking racist. And they don't understand when it pisses you off because it's fucking racist. So, she's like, I wish I could make an observation without a person of color making it racist. First of all, don't call us a person of color. Just say in Africa. I wish I could make a comment or I could make an observation without people thinking it's racist. Don't say people of color, because sometimes white people hear white people say racist shit and they make it racist too. It ain't only black people. You know what I'm saying? Because even a white person should know when someone is saying something stupid and racist. That's just my own personal opinion. Whatever. And them just like bullshit. I call bullshit about Danny saying she wasn't saying that he have a white mother because she was saying that he was smart. She was saying that he have a white mother because he has blue eyes. I call bullshit too, because you wasn't talking about how he was looking. You was talking about how did he get the job as a senior producer and why is he so smart. Oh, because Rhonda wanted more black people and because his mom is white. Bitch, what? I mean, it offended me. You know what I'm saying? And not offended as in I hate all white people, but offensive as in I can see that issue happening in any other workplace, and it's stupid as hell. And at times black people can't, or it's frowned upon if you hear someone say something racist and you check them. But Mary Jane, she checked her. She was like, his racial background shouldn't matter, and that's none of your business. Just so that his parents are black. Contrary to popular belief, black people can create light-skinned children. You don't have to be mixed, okay? They can create kids with different color eyes, okay? They can create just with good hair, just everything. It is a little racist when you see someone who might be lighter skinned, lighter colored eyes, a nice grade of hair, and you may assume they must be white. Why can't they be black? Why can't they be black? My nephew is lighter skinned. He has very nice hair. And his mama and his daddy are both African American. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a reason why sometimes black people do get offended. Because it comes off racist. Okay? So, Mary Jane just going off on her. She's like, you're narrow-minded. um, she then said, your narrow mind might not know this, but white people don't have the stronghold on lighter colored eyes, or being intelligent, because that's what Danny insinuated. Oh, he's very smart producer, says the dark haired white girl. Oh, isn't his mother white? That's not how you follow up. That's not, no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So, she then goes on to say, you make it known on a regular basis that being white does not mean you're intelligent. Basically calling the girl a fucking idiot. She also says, like, your mouth is just a verbal diarrhea, which means the bullshit that come out your mouth is bullshit. Shit just keeps coming out. Your mouth is just flowing with shit and shit and shit, and it's like diarrhea. And she's like, next time, just shut the hell up. You ill-mannered, undereducated, overprivileged simpleton. Just shut up. Shut the hell up. I mean, in that moment, Wilder was very unprofessional, because the whole office has stopped and they're watching her, give it to this Danny, the white girl. But that's how a lot of black people at times feel. I've been at my places of employment, and I've heard people say things that are racial and that are racist. And now I would just do this. I don't say anything. That's what I do. Because if you respond, if you check them, they do look at you as an angry black person, or you're over exaggerating, or you're taking it the wrong way. And then in some way, they become the fucking victim, even though what they said offended you. And then sometimes, as an African American, you don't feel like having to be the consistent, let me explain black people to you. Let me explain why you can't say A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, you do have to check your white counterparts. I have had to say to a white person, you can't say that. That's racist. I know you don't mean it to be that way. I get that. I don't even think you're racist. But you can't say that. Because if you say that around someone else of color, they're not going to take it how I'm taking it. I'm telling you, you can't say shit like that. So I do think there's always a way to say things to people. There's a way to explain what you should and should not say to black people. I mean, it's things that we black people maybe shouldn't say to white people. But I think sometimes there are people who are Caucasian who don't understand that what they're saying is very fucking racist. And in this aspect, it seemed very fucking racist. And sometimes the reason it sounds racist is because the person is so ignorant, they don't even realize it, because that's just what they're used to being around. That's just what they've probably grown up hearing. So to them, it's like, I'm not racist. I have black friends. I have 4 black friends. I'm around black people all the time. Anywho, so, it's that whole thing of her, going off on her. I'm sorry, I went all off on a tangent. The next thing that we see is, it's after that whole thing. We see a couple of men in suits having a conversation like, oh, we can't have this. And we, after we meet here, we're going to go talk to HR and blah, 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 blah. You then see Aaliyah, who I kept calling her the HR girl. I didn't know what her name was until the end of the episode today. But she goes to see Mary Jane, and she's like, how are you? And Mary Jane's like, she was very honest, and she's like the same thing that I was just saying. She hates when people can speak their racist thoughts, or their racist truth, or their truth that just comes off racist. And if you're offended and you speak up because you're offended, you become an angry black woman. You became, oversensitive and, over emotional and all that stuff. She was just angry about that whole situation. And, Leah's, was like, look, you're the lead anchor of this show. You need to walk out of here with your head held high and be the lead anchor. She's like, I'll go talk to Garrett. So, she does go talk to Garrett, and she comes back to Mary Jane, and she's like, look, Garrett's going to work it out with HR. You'll be fine. However, we're going to need you to do a couple of things. And she's like, but for one, Garrett, you're going to have to apologize to everyone. In addition to that, we need you to invite all of them to your housewarming party so that we can have a photographer there to take pictures about how we're all just a big happy family. Bitch, what? First of all, I don't like hanging out with my coworkers at work, let alone people who I don't like at work. I have to have the people I don't fuck with at my housewarming party? Bitch, what? But sometimes that is what has to happen. But she's pissed about it. She's like, why do I have to apologize as a black woman because the white person was racist? Sometimes that's just what happens, and it sucks monkey balls to have to do that sometimes. But that's what it is. And Aaliyah's like, look, you're a leader. Be a leader. If you apologize, they'll fall in line and everything will be fine. She's like, but let me give you a trick to how you can handle people when they're saying stupid racist things and you don't want to get angry and react. And she's like, this, imagine, no. Mary Jane was like, I don't need to do that. I don't care. And she's like, well, you need to, because you were almost fired for you snapping back at Danny. And what you have to remember is your image gets tarnished, not hers. And she's like, oh, that's a good point. What's the trick? And she's basically told her to picture people in their panties. To imagine them being in some awkwardly funny or embarrassing situation so that you don't get upset about it. And, it's like whatever. We do see that Mary Jane apologizes. She basically said, everyone's opinion and points of view should matter, even if you don't agree with it. Even if you don't agree with them, it's what she basically. I wrote, MJ apologizes, says everyone's point of view should be welcome. Blah blah blah. Is what I said, because everything she said, I'm looking like she was forced to say it. So she apologizes. That's all you guys need to know. She does invite the people to her party. Like, I hope that you guys can also make it to my housewarming party so that we can all, get together like a team and have fun. She then walks away and she goes over to Kara to personally invite Kara over. And she's like, I know that we're not, on too good of terms, but since this is a work event, I'm hoping you can make it, to the party. And Kara's like, no, I can't make it. And even if it wasn't a work party, I still wouldn't go. I'm still pissed off at you. I told you I'm done with you. I'm over you. I'm just over all your shit. And she walks off angry. Kara is holding on to something else. And you can't keep being that mad at her. I mean, being that mad at her is something else is underlined within that. So we then see that MJ is asking Kara's assistant, the dark-haired woman, is everything okay with Kara? Because Kara is always on her phone, and Mary Jane has no idea what's going on with her. So she's like, I don't know, if it's not about work, I tend to stay out of it. And she's like, no, well, what's really going on with her? And she's like, look, I don't know, but, she's very distracted, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's something going on in her personal life, because, I don't even know if she's, researched this story, as much. I don't want to lose my job. She didn't vet that last story too well, so I don't know. MJ grabs it, looks it over, and she's like, if Kara says she looked it over, it's fine. And if anyone has an issue with it, they can come talk to me. Now, for me, that was her still having her friends back, even though Kara's being shitty to her right now. She's not going to let Kara ruin her own career because Kara, at this point in time, is mad at her. Kudos to Mary Jane. We do see that she returns the box to Justin's house. And she's now at her party, and the people are coming in. So the hairstylist person is there, Aaliyah is there, and of course all of them are there. We see that Danny is coming, and she's there, and she brings another one of her white friends. So her white friend has on a hat that says "Make America Great Again." The Donald Trump hat. Fuck Donald Trump. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. And Mary Jane and Danny's having a conversation about her real name. And she's like, my first real name was Pauletta. Oh, that is so funny. Ha 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 ha. You know where I got that from. And as she's walking away from that conversation, Mary Jane is like, to her, and the photographer catches her on film doing that. Aaliyah is able to coerce this photographer to not keep the picture, to delete it. She's like, look, I have access to all these other parties, the A-listers. If you delete that photo, I'll make sure that you get in to these A-list parties and you can take pictures and make more money. So yes, he deletes it. Danny also invited some other people, some other white guys. He's like, oh, I thought you wouldn't mind. Bitch, don't invite nobody to my housewarming that I don't know, okay? I know you because you my coworker and you supposed to be here. I don't want strangers in my goddamn apartment. I hate when people who was a +1 bring a goddamn +1. You brought like +5, and I don't even like you. But she couldn't say all of that because she's trying to stay contained. So, they do custom music on, and at that point, everyone's dancing, and the party kind of loosens up. MJ isn't as, she isn't as nervous. They're all dancing around. She's dancing with Danny. Danny's having fun. Danny's letting loose, and it becomes an actual party. And, they get great photos and everything. So at that point, Kara's son texts Mary Jane, and, he's like, have you talked to my mom? And she's like, what? So we see that she leaves, and then she winds up at a hospital. And Kara's there, and she's like, Mary Jane? And she's crying about it's her dad. And come to find out, her father is dying. Which is why she's been so distracted, because her father is dying. She doesn't have Mary Jane. And it's a lot to deal with. But Mary Jane, sits down, hugs her, and Kara cries on Mary Jane's shoulder. Beautiful, beautiful moment. I do want to see how that transcends into the next episode, to see if Kara's going to act like, okay, I was weak at that moment, I'm still mad at you, or if that's the way that they can start to mend their friendship. Mary Jane then goes back to her house. The party, of course, is over, but Aaliyah's still there. She's like, I had to stay here to lock up your apartment because, you were gone. She does tell, Aaliyah why she left. Kara's father's dying. I had to be there for her. And Kara's like, I get it, but the party was a success. That's a great thing. Everything worked out. I was able to be here with Danny's crazy stuff, and I didn't go off, and everything's fine. Mary Jane does ask her, can we be friends? Can we hang out? And Aaliyah's like, yeah, we can. Of course, because she wants to be Mary Jane's friend as well. I thought that was great. I thought Mary Jane even just, speaking her up to say, you are a great millennial and you're going to do great things, as you get older or whatever. We see them pick up the America's Great Again hat, toss it off the roof after giving it the finger. And then the last ending scene is Mary Jane's maid finding the letter that fell, and it's from Justin's box. And Mary Jane opened it, and she finds out he's worth $30 million. What? So, that is my Being Mary Jane review. Thank you for tuning in, because that's how it ended. Nothing else happened. So, I'm like, that was just the end of it. She found out he's worth $30 million. And, yeah, I would freak out too. So, that's all I'm saying. I mean, the episode was good. It was a good episode. But, I don't know. I mean, I liked it. But it's just a lot going on within all the different characters, all the new people. It's like, where are her parents? Her brother is, gone somewhere. Justin is gone somewhere. We don't see Kara's kids anymore. I don't know. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.